Hi, Margo.
Hi, Chuck.
I am very excited to talk to you. We talked earlier this week after our lesson all about your exciting new upcoming contract on a cruise ship, and I think it's really exciting. Really, what I'm hoping we can do is help people understand how they could maybe someday to grow up to be like you, to be a singer and to be able to perform professionally and to get on a cruise ship and some of those things. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, yeah. Why don't you just tell me a little bit about yourself and your background? Tell us where you're from, but tell us a little bit about how you started singing.
All right. So I grew up and lived most of my life in Russia, in a city called Kaliningrad. It's a cool, interesting place. Our region is located between Poland and Lithuania, so it's a little European part of Russia, separated from the mainland. So it's an interesting place to grow up. Um, Music kind of always was in my life, probably partially because my mother is a music teacher. So she was teaching music in my elementary school, and she was also director of vocal studio where I sang for pretty much most of my life. Um, yeah, and then when I was 6 years old, also I started studying piano.
So when did you start realizing that you really like singing?
I think I liked singing from the moment I started. It was a little challenging in the beginning, especially I still remember my first performance, my stage performance. I was like 6 years old. And my mom literally had to just push me on the stage because I was in tears, like, no, I don't want to do that. But then, of course, I got a hang of it. All right, when I was in my eighth grade, I think I was done with my music school. I graduated with a like, piano degree, so to say, but it's like children's music school, right? So it's not like college or anything like that. At some point, I started taking leadership of our vocal group that my mom initiated, and I was writing all the sheets and building harmonies and teaching them to uh, the girls I was singing with, and um, and then I participated in various bands. Bunch of bands. One of the serious ones was I wanted to mention I was actually a leader of power metal band at some point. Well, I guess it's not high school already. I was 20 years old. So yeah, that's when I started singing in this metal band. It's called Ghost Hill, and you can look it up on YouTube. We have a couple of music videos. It
Cool.
was pretty fun, but you, Chuck, you wouldn't approve my style of singing then. I bet.
So you're 20 years old. You're playing in a metal band. Where did you go from like doing metal band to how did you get to the cruise ship?
I think I was 23 or 24 years old, and I was playing gigs with this local guitarist. Um, and one day he just told me, like during one of the gigs, like, "Hey, are you considering at all working on cruise ships?" I'm like, "Yeah, I very much am interested." And yeah, and we went from there. They already had a band they worked on ships with. It was a quartet. And the thing was that the singer had to leave for some time. So they had to find another singer. And I was like, I'm super ready. I'm super excited. It could be very interesting. And I joined the band. We rehearsed. We filmed a promo video. And soon enough, I'm 24 years old, and I'm on the cruise ship, cruising Caribbean.
Let's just say it's your first time and you want to get on, you want to be able to perform on a cruise ship and you've been gigging and so forth. What do you have to do to get yourself ready to be able to get a contract?
So, first of all, you need to figure out how you want to join the ship. Do you want to join the ship with the band? Do you want to join the ship as a solo musician, because there are so many positions.
Hmm.
There are people who just play and sing, and they're called principal musicians. It's one position. Then there are duos, there are quartets, there are show bands. For the show bands, every musician comes kind of separately, and then they get together and they read sheet music. That's what Brian's position was like on the ship. But I guess it depends on many things. If you want to just make a band, let's say if you want to make a duo like we did, for us, the way was to, first of all, to make a promo video, and the promo video needs to meet certain requirements. Because we made a bunch of promo videos before we got this first long-awaited contract. And the problem was that we were pretty stubborn about our approach. And I guess if you really want to join the ship, you need to be very considerate to what is needed from you. And in this instance, it could be really useful to maybe have somebody who worked on ships before, or you can even, okay, not all the agencies are the same, right? You work with the agencies. That's your thing. You send all your promo material to the agencies, and there are a bunch of them. You can just Google them. There are, I don't know, numberless amount, but some of them are bigger than others.
When you say an agency, are you talking about an agent who books all kinds of different gigs, or are these just cruise ship agencies?
You know, it really depends. There are just really a bunch of them, I guess. Some of them specialize specifically on cruise ships. Some of them do, let's say, cruise ships and then hotels around the world, entertainment. So there are a whole lot of them. And yeah, I guess it all just depends on your persistence and you just reaching out. There is always an agency that you can reach out. There is always there's some agencies are really responsive and some agents are really supportive, and you can even like email and say, okay, that's the position that I want. What should I do? What kind of video should I make? How should I represent myself?
So, first step is then to get an agent.
Um, so the thing with the agents is that it's available for anybody. You just go on the website, they have forms that you just fill out, and you you put the link to your video in this form, and that's pretty much all that is needed for you from you.
Do you have any tips on someone choosing the right agency?
That's a hard one because the thing is that I don't want to call names, right? But one of the agencies is um, it provides like 90% of cruise ship entertainment, probably, if not more.
I see.
So in some way, you kind of just have to go with, you know, with what works. Because me and Brian, we reached out to a number of agents just to kind of, you know, we kept fishing, you know, we sent it to this agency, we sent it to that agency. So ultimately, you're not limited to how many agencies you apply. You can apply as many times as you want, as many agencies as you want. Um, and then for us personally, it was just whatever gets us a gig, right? But ultimately, what could be a good sign of, you know, good agent, if he responds, if he reads your emails and he responds to you quickly enough or at all. So just when you feel that there is a human on the other side of, you know, of this connection.
When you have your agent or your agency, then what's the next step?
Not only the promo video that you need, you also need to submit your resumes, you need to submit your song list, you need to submit your bio. So
Headshots.
like, yeah, these little requirements, but sometimes the agent will just reach back to you and say like, okay, thank you for your video. Please send me your resume, send me your blah, 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 1, 2, 3, what they need. So that's probably the next step.
So, did you send the video first? I mean, is that like the first thing, and that kind of gets their attention, and then they say, here's what I'm more interested. Send me more information." Is
I,
a video first?
in majority of cases, it is so.
Hmm.
Sometimes it can be different. Like Brian, for instance, he worked with different agency and for different position. And yeah, in this case, he didn't really have to make any video, but that was already because he knew the agent and the agent knew him, and the agent knew that uh, he is capable of doing such and such.
Right.
So I guess it can go many ways. In most case scenarios, though, video goes first.
All right. So, what did you have to do to get this contract that you just received?
Hmm. So for us, just like I said, we filmed a bunch of videos throughout the years trying to get it right. And we encountered a bunch of challenges as well because I was going through immigration and I couldn't leave the country meanwhile. So there were our own things going on. But also, we needed to actually make the video, which meets the requirements they have
When you
for
say
your
they,
position.
when you say they, you mean the cruise lines?
I guess they work together as a union, probably agents and cruise lines. Cruise lines are the ones who uh, say yes or no. An agent will be estimating your promo material, and if it's good enough, he will be sending it to, and he will be offering it to his clients, the cruise lines, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess the final decision is always made by the cruise line.
So, what was it that made it? What did you do wrong, and what did you do right that finally convinced them?
I guess one of the things was using backing tracks. And that's something that me as a singer, not really much playing instrument much. I used to play with backing tracks a lot. Brian, though, is a you know jazz musician, educated and skilled. He just doesn't understand the concept and he doesn't like the idea, which I can understand, of course.
Yeah.
But he was really stubborn about it. He was like, no, we're not going to use backing tracks. We're just going to do our thing and people are going to love it. Which we had to prove that people do love it because we played in our town a lot and we got response from people and we know that our thing works. But cruise ship people need to see that you do the thing that they want you to do. And the thing they want you to do is to be able to turn on backing track in case people on the cruise ship want to dance when you play. And that's a little bit of what's the word? It's a little bit of ne- negotiation. I'm not trying to. I'm not looking. I'm not finding the right word, but it's like you gotta be flexible. You have to be able to play different things. You can't just say, okay, this is what I play and I
So
don't
it's
play
a little
anything
bit of
else.
you're kind of you have to compromise a little bit.
Right, right. You have to compromise. That's the word I was looking
Yeah.
for. Yeah, you have to be flexible.
Yeah. And so, what was it that you feel like made your last video successful then?
Our friend uh, offered us his studio, and our friends also helped us with the sound. And we had um, I'm not sure how to describe it properly, but we had all the sound that we were playing live, and it was recorded high quality.
Nice.
And Brian, having experience with mixing and audio editing, he took care of all this, sound part of it. So the sound was great. The sound was high quality. The video was high quality because we had good cameras and good light and good studio. And yeah, and after that, first of all, it was good quality sound and video. And repertoire, we changed the repertoire. We played pop songs, we played songs with the backing tracks, and we showed variety. I played piano on a bunch of songs. So it was just a little bit of everything. We kind of tried to show that we can do anything. We can do pop songs. We can do backing tracks if needed. We can do no backing tracks. I can play piano if needed. Brian can sing if needed. We do harmonies. So all of these things combined, I think, is what made it what made it happen for us.
If it's an audition tape, did you have to play the whole song?
It was just little clips. of the songs, like let's say verse and chorus. So our video was about 7 minutes long. So they don't really want longer than that.
How long did it take you to put that together?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, okay, we're not going to count rehearsing and practicing. That's, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So it took us probably 3 hours to film the video. It took us a couple of hours to set up. So it's already five, right?
Yeah.
Then it took Brian, I don't know how many hours to edit the audio. Let's say 10. I don't know. 10 hours of editing the audio. And then I edited the video and it took, I don't know, 15 hours, let's say. So we are like at, let's say 30 hours, just because, you know what, some videos that we've seen are pretty DIY,
Hmm.
Some people don't really put too much effort in it.
Hmm.
And, I was trying to discover the algorithm or logic in what actually makes the band hireable. And you know what? I have no clue.
Well, I'm going to say one word, and it's probably a big part of it: persistence.
That's a very good point.
You guys have been working hard at it. Tell me about your gigging because that's a part of your preparation. What have you been doing? You know, tell me what's been going on in your community with your singing.
So, I guess for the last 3 years or so, pretty much as soon as me and Brian got together, when I first came to Arizona, we started practicing and we learned a bunch of covers and I started playing more jazz, even though I was already familiar with the jazz, but that was the whole another extent because duo jazz is a very exposed thing and you have to be really exact in what you're doing. But that's when my training began and when in this area. And we started learning the songs, and after a certain point, we started playing open mics to begin with. Then we started booking gigs. Connections help, but they're not essential. You can just as well reach out to the venue, any cafe or restaurant or bar or coffee shop, and just reach out and call like, hey, do you book music here? Do you hire musicians? And that's pretty much how it works.
You submitted your reel or your video to the agent. The agent sends it to whoever decides on the ship, I guess. And then how do you find out?
Our agent just emailed us, are you available November 24th? And yeah, and I mean, our contract is till May. So are you guys available and interested? And we're like, oh yeah, we are.
What's kind of the range of pay scale for, I know you can't speak for all of the cruise ships, but there's probably kind of a
Mhm.
general area, I guess.
As a general rule, it will be in like upper 2000s, like 2500 to 3000 in general. But it really depends. Like when
Per
we just
per
started
month
applying
per month.
per month,
Yeah.
per month per person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when we just started applying for cruise ship jobs, one time we just had an offer for like 1700, and we were like, I'm not sure if it's worth it. So it really depends, but mostly it will start somewhere around like 2400 and will go up to 3000, and then it really depends on your position, because for, let's say, cast members, for singers and for singers on this musical shows on the cruise ship, they will have 3000 plus for sure, and they'll have better conditions to, like, there are better living conditions on the ship. They will have single cabin, whereas for the bands it's usually shared cabin. or like principal musician, if you play and sing, like play the guitar and sing, or play the piano and sing, and you can do it for like 3 hours straight every day, it also will be 3,000 plus, and you'll have single cabin. So
And plus all, then you have all your expenses paid.
you don't have to worry about rent or about food, but ultimately it's all up to you how much you want to save up.
Congratulations, and you'll be gone for like 6 months. And then, how hard is it to get another contract?
It really depends. Like, yeah, I guess it really depends on how good you are. You got to be good.
Yeah. Well, this is your third round, personally, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
it
you,
is.
you
Yes.
must be okay.
Trying to work on it anyway.
Awesome. All right. So where can people find you and Brian? Because you've got a website, right?
Hmm. Yes, it's margoandbrian.com. MARGO.
I guess from now my only choice to finally recognize the voice. I understand now what they all told us.
When was it? Just in August, we released our first CD. So it's all originals, 8 songs, and it's all available on our website. It's available on Spotify and Amazon Music and whatever music service people use. It's available on all the major music services. So yeah, we'll be happy if you guys will be interested in checking it out. You can order downloads, you can listen to it on the website, you can support us with your purchase. So yeah, just go on our website, or you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Instagram. We try to keep it up to date.
Also, put your link down in the description below the video.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
I'm learning a lot about the well, getting gigs on cruise lines. I mean, it's really amazing, and you're very experienced at it, and it's also an honor and a privilege to work with you. I really enjoy our time together. So.
Thank you so much for saying this. I'm so grateful for all the information that you share and for all the help that you gave to me. So yeah, and thank you for all that you're doing. I'm sure that many people will agree with me. It's very, very helpful, and it's a big purpose, to bring it out in the world, how we can sing with, just like you say, with power, confidence, and how does it go?
Beauty, confidence.
You can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
yeah, thank you so much, Chuck. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Margo.
Can you tell me? Maybe there's something that I've missed. Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I'm just dreaming. Hey, I know something. There is something I don't know. I think we need teachers who can teach us something. Hey, are you here? There is something we can learn. Just take a look around us. Can you tell me the truth? Who is they? Who is they? There is only we, but it can be hard to see. Written in invisible ink. Get it? We'll just dream in one big dream, all together sleeping. Let's just all admit it. It's alright now. Maybe we just can't wake up yet.